Hello, everybody. Welcome. Just going to take a minute to get settled here. Give it a minute to see if anyone joins us today for a little experiment. So we're going to go ahead and get started today with our full moon in Virgo eclipse. All right, let's go ahead and get started today. We have a full moon in Virgo today, which is our reason for coming together. A full moon in Virgo, not just a full moon, but we've entered into eclipse season. So the full moon eclipse happening tonight. And this is the first time I'm doing this live. And I've been in the pattern of kind of just sitting down, hitting record for these videos for you all. And I thought we'd do something different. I thought we'd do something different that is showing up live, providing you all an opportunity to join me. So maybe you want to join me live. Maybe you're still just doing what you've been doing, watching these recordings. But as I've been, sitting here, just hitting record, speaking to you in this very open way, kind of holding space for what I would do in circle, what I do in circle, and really holding the space for the fact that starting next month, I am going to be opening more circles for everybody, circles open to the public. That means you all. And with that, what I want to do in this space today and the live circles I'm going to be holding after this is, bring you this opportunity to kind of feel out, like what would circle be like to come hang out with me on Zoom, be in conversation, be in practice. Unlike the kind of pre-recorded videos I've been doing where it's just me over here on one side of the screen talking at you, bringing you this opportunity to come hang out, maybe make this more of a two-way conversation through the chat. So just bringing forth that opportunity for you to show up in these lives. And again, if watching the recording is more your style or that's how it works out with your timing, again, that's just perfect. Trusting the way that you can best show up for these circles. But enough with that, coming back to today's topic. So let's get focused now. Let's get focused on this theme today. And there's I'll speak to it in like 2 or 3 ways, that this energy today is big and exciting enough that kind of pushed me to do things differently, to show up live in this energy. And I know there is something so powerful about, the way we show up in these things. Again, there's a difference. If whether it's me in a pre-recorded video or it's me here in a live YouTube with you all, or me on Zoom with you all, or me physically in person with you all, right? The energy changes and it matters. And it doesn't necessarily mean that like one way is better than the other. They all have their pros, their cons. But again, what is it? What is it about this particular energy that was big enough for me to show up for you all here today? So if you're just joining, that's perfect. We've kind of just been hanging out, setting the stage. But So really getting settled here, getting started, getting focused on this eclipse, this full moon eclipse energy. So what is the full moon eclipse, right? Like why is this so powerful? And why, how can we work with it here today? So first things first, as always, if you've ever done work with me, you know where we're heading here. So getting out of this world of chatter, right? I've been bringing a lot of words to you, but just getting started here, getting settled, and just taking those deep breaths into self, right? This world, this greater work we're doing, this is embodiment work. Yes, in embodiment work, I'm going to bring you words, I'm going to bring you conversation, I'm going to bring you teachings to help you kind of get it. But more than anything, what we're doing here is coming into connection with self. And coming into connection with self, not just so we can go inward into self. Yes, that's important. But more than that, it's this connection into self that is the path, that is our connection into everything that expands out beyond self. So feeling into that, feeling into self, taking those deep breaths down into self. Feeling that expansion in your rib cage, maybe the expansion in your belly. Maybe you feel your feet on the floor, your seat in the chair. Breathing down into self as you feel down to that connection with the surface, the ground holding you. Again, we've been kind of chatting here up front. Maybe you're coming in from a busy space, you've been busy up in your mind. Just taking those deep breaths down into self. Feeling into that physical connection with self, that physical connection with the ground beneath you. And as you're taking these deep breaths, can you with each breath just let all the rest fall away? I'm going to keep cueing this here for several more breaths, giving yourself a little bit of time to actually do this. Those deep breaths down into self, connecting into self, connecting into the physical ground beneath you. Maybe there's something around you. Like for me, it's the trees outside the window that I can breathe into, help me ground into the physical earth with each breath. So maybe there's something for you in your physical environment, maybe something earthy, maybe it's a plant, maybe it's a brick wall, something earthy, something physical to help you ground in. Grounding into the physical. Right here today, we're here to play in some fun spiritual energy. But you know that everything we do here is about grounding into the physical. And it's this grounding into the physical that has me so excited in this energy, right? Again, this Virgo full moon. So playing in this Virgo energy, Virgo being the earth priestess, being that embodied energy, being that connection with the physical. So what better time than to play in this embodiment work that we do consistently here in this powerful Virgo energy. So again, still, I'm going to invite you to keep those grounding breaths going as we continue on with this video. I'm going to weave in and out of practice, conversation. But can you keep those grounding breaths going? Like, can you maintain this physical connection into self, grounded into self into the greater world you're a part of as we play a little bit. So weaving back into these words around the Virgo full moon and this eclipse energy and the wider energy that we're in right now. Right? Seeing if you can kind of get yourself to play in it, just, holding space for like what arises as we're here in conversation, here in practice. Simply holding curiosity around this. Like, what is here? What is here for you today? Maybe you came in with some sort of expectation or maybe some intention, and it's kind of asking yourself all the while, like, does that actually serve to kind of hold this expectation, or does it serve to, like everything else we're doing, to let that fall away, right? Remember those deep grounding breaths, staying present into self, your physical self, right? That physical world, as you let the rest just fall away. So anything that, rises up into your mind that might feel a little bit distracting, just letting that fall away. And this is our practice for today. And this is our practice, as we weave and play a little bit. And this is a practice because this right here is this Virgo energy, right? This Virgo energy, again, the Earth Priestess, this energy, right? And feeling more strongly into this grounding in, right? Grounding in, being present to the physical, being present to what is right here, physically connected to the physical as you let all else fall away. So we're going to keep up this practice. We're going to keep up this practice as we weave now. So let's start talking a little bit more about, like, what's the big deal about this eclipse, right? I've been talking about it the last few days, and one of the lines that kind of keeps popping up is like, there's another eclipse? Like, I thought we just had an eclipse. And yes, we did just have an eclipse 6 months ago. We have these eclipses that happen twice a year, and there's a full moon eclipse and a new moon eclipse. And what's happening right now, so what's happening tonight, we have a full moon eclipse, again, happening in Virgo, and that's going to start what we can kind of speak to as this eclipse portal, right? So this first eclipse happening on the full moon, and then moving through the next couple weeks into when we'll hit the new moon eclipse with releasing. So in this releasing energy, right, we can kind of, and again, feeling into that full moon, right, the full light of that moon shining down onto us. Just letting that full moon light radiate down through you. And maybe you feel it as a sort of burning away, like burning away that which you've been carrying that no longer serves. Right? Maybe that's patterns, maybe that's physical behavioral patterns, maybe that's mental patterns, maybe that's mental constructs that you've been carrying around with you. So it's feeling into that, letting that full moon light radiate down through you. Feeling into that burning away, burning away. What is it that you've been carrying? Maybe it's thought patterns, beliefs, mental constructs for what you think this world is or isn't. Feeling into that full moon energy, burning away. What is it that you are carrying that you have embodied in the past? Maybe that's energetically in your mind. Maybe that's energetically in your body. You've been carrying it with you, and maybe it served you in some way, maybe it hasn't. But the point being, it's no longer serving you in your path forward now. And because of that, it's just taking up space. Maybe it's draining your energy. Maybe it's taking your attention where your attention better be focused elsewhere. Or maybe it's, actively harmful. Maybe it's a pattern that's, actually doing harm in your life. And, just different things we can hold space for here. And the power of this is you don't actually need to know, right? Remember the bigger practice we're in here. It's this practice of holding space while we just let it all fall away. So, maybe your mind starts to weave some story about something that you're ready to let go of. And that's great, but let's not get too attached to it, right? So let's not let our minds take us out of this grounding, out of this connection to the energy here and now, out of this connection to the physical here and now. If your mind comes on board and you get insights, great, but let's not get too attached to them. Let's not let that take us out of the present. So remembering this practice that we're here to do this whole video, those deep grounding breaths, connecting into the present, the physical present. Whatever rises into mind, maybe emotions come up, whatever arises, paying note to them, witnessing them, but not getting attached to them. So let's weave back now into this full moon energy, right? So we've talked a lot about the full moon. We've talked about Virgo energy. So let's dive more into this eclipse, right? So why are eclipses such a big deal? And what we can kind of play with this eclipse energy, again, this full moon eclipse, just feeling into how the eclipse kind of amplifies that full moon energy. So every month we have these moon cycles, and I so encourage you to follow the moon cycles. It's a powerful way to be in this rhythm of, okay, it's a time for release in the full moon versus a time for sort of setting intentions, new beginnings, planting seeds at the new moon. And this is sort of what we can think of as a regular practice, something to be in tune with consistently. Then twice a year, something happens where these eclipses show up, and it's like the energy gets amplified. So as the energy amplifies, right? And again, feeling into this, playing with this. I know me, the last couple days, I've been feeling it, like this powerful, intense energy, right? Oh, feeling into it now, feeling into it as we go into tonight, feeling into it as the days go on from here. That amplification of this full moon energy, that powerful releasing energy. And again, as you feel into this, maybe your mind comes on board. Maybe you get insights for what it is that you are releasing. Or maybe you bring some of your conscious intention into it. Like, this is what I know I want to release, that I'm ready to release. And maybe not. Maybe you hold more of a, I'm just going to get out of the way, and you can kind of like lean back. I'm just going to get out of the way and hold space for, whatever it is that best serves. My body, my whole being is often so much more intelligent than what I actually consciously know. So if I can just kind of like get out of the way, hold space, hold this conscious intention to release, Okay, what patterns, what mental constructs, what behaviors, what am I holding in self that is no longer serving? And because it's no longer serving, it's time to release it. How can I get out of the way? How can I not become attached to it or caught up in anything that would kind of get me in there and mess things up a little bit? But how can I get out of the way so that this powerful full moon eclipse energy can come in, do its thing? So playing with that, and I hope you've been playing along with me here. As we move forward, into this evening, this night, and even ongoing from there, right? This energy doesn't just come in and hit and leave, like it sticks around. So I invite you to continue to play into this. All right, so that's sort of the first big thing I wanted to frame here and play in a little bit today. But there's one other piece that I want to work in today. Um, and to move into it, what I'm going to invite us to do is to tune back into that Virgo energy. So this is what we opened with, right? This is the energy that I invited you to hang out with for the whole duration of this video. But so this Virgo energy, again, taking those deep breaths into self, feeling into your physical body. So through your breath, really calling upon your breath to feel into the physical expansion of your chest, of your belly, and feeling your feet on the floor, your seat in the chair, breathing into your physical self. So bringing that conscious awareness to your physical self. And again, from this space, maybe you go deeper down into the earth beneath you, down into the floorboards, or maybe all the way down into the dirt, the rocks, the roots, the soil beneath you. Maybe you look out your window and maybe there are trees or birds or flowers, something out your window. But bringing that conscious connection to the earth in the forms around you, the earth in the form of you, yourself. Breathing into this, your breath being that powerful guide to keep your conscious connection with these spaces. And as you continue this practice, you can just noticing how your mind comes on board, noticing how thoughts show up, noticing how distractions arise. Like, what is it that takes you out of the present moment? What is it that takes you away? Maybe your phone goes off with a ding and all of a sudden you're, flipping through Instagram while we're here, supposed to be connecting to the trees, and just noticing as it happens, because it's gonna happen, right? This is the way us modern human beings are programmed, right? We're wired this way. Like, we have all these distracting thoughts that are constantly going. We have all these notifications on our technology. We have all these distractions constantly taking us out of the present moment. So can we let this Virgo energy guide us into deeper presence, deeper connection with the here and now, as we bring awareness to all the ways that we are taken out of the present moment? Continuing to breathe in this space. And maybe, we don't have all the time to do this right now. So again, encouraging you to keep this practice going. Keep this practice going today. Keep this practice going throughout the entire length of this eclipse portal. So to the next couple weeks. As you do this simple practice, right? Simple, not easy, but simple practice that's tuning into the physical. Tuning into the physical, that physical felt connection with reality. Deepening into that physical, present connection with reality. And from this grounded space, noticing all the ways we get taken out of it. What are all the ways we get taken out of it? And as you do this over time, maybe you start to notice patterns. Maybe you have these patterns. Maybe they're thought patterns that arise. Maybe it's a tendency to continuously reach for your phone or some other distraction. And maybe as you go on doing this, you're noticing that, like, wow, this just really isn't serving. These patterns are actually really unskillful. And as you notice this, tuning back into that full moon eclipse energy, tuning back into that full moon eclipse energy, letting it shower down on you, holding space for that golden light that radiates off the moon. Maybe you can feel into this one. This one's actually a blood moon. It's a blood moon eclipse. So maybe you can feel into that sort of energy, that reddish color. Let that kind of rain down on you. Again, here we're just playing, right? That open curiosity. Can we play in this space? Not getting too attached, too firm to sort of our expectations of what will happen. This curious playfulness that, another fun, right? I love to speak to this curious playfulness. And here we are in Virgo, here we are in Earth Priestess energy, and that being so fully a part of her archetype, her energy, this curious, childlike playfulness, this innocence, this, like, really, how much do I know? I think I know a lot. I think I know a lot. I think I have all these constructs that help me understand the world. But really, how much do I actually know? How much do these constructs, these mental constructs, actually serve as I navigate the world and make decisions and show up as skillfully as I can? How much, to what degree are my belief systems and my mental models of the world, how much are they actually serving? Knowing that many of them do serve, and many of them, maybe they served at one point, or maybe they're flawed and, came to us based off of flawed information. Whatever it is, again, we don't need to get too heady about it. But again, those mental constructs, those that help us navigate the world, we sit here in this Virgo full moon energy, allowing that which isn't serving to fall away. Allowing that which isn't serving to fall away. And letting this connecting into the physical reality, this direct perception of reality. Me here, you over there, in direct connection to reality. Living from this space. Letting the rest fall away. All right, so just, taking a moment to check in with self, I think we're probably closing down here soon. So I let you kind of tune into self, just checking in. Is there anything that's come up for you? Any insights, any sort of hits of intuition that's like, oh, maybe this is what I can really focus some intention on during this eclipse portal. Now being a good time to go write that down so you remember. Just kind of tuning in if there's anything else we can do here in this space. But I'm feeling pretty complete. I know there's so much, as I kind of tune into the different teachers I have, the people speaking to the greater astrology, right? There's so much at play right now. And I found myself in a space where astrology is just this, like, goofy playground, right? It's this goofy playground where we can kind of look at the stars and the planets and kind of play with what's happening. And there's a lot here. So if you're, that's sort of pinging you as something that might be interesting. There's a lot that's going on right now. There's a lot that's going on now. So if it sort of pings you to go listen to more of what's going on, following that trail. For me, what I've learned in so many different spaces, whether it's astrology or anything we're showing up in life, is sometimes it really serves to keep things simple, right? Keep things simple. So there's all these different aspects at play right now, and to varying degrees, they may or may not be affecting you. And so often our minds want to know, right? Like our minds want all the technical details because we want to be in the know. And by being in the know, maybe, there's that little bit of wanting to control what's happening. And so feeling into how much that serves, though. How much does it serve for you to go bring your mind on board and hear more about what's happening during this eclipse portal? And feeling into the other side. That's, to what degree does it really serve to keep things simple? I've brought you this very simple, again, simple, but not necessarily always easy practice, right? This simple practice. Grounding into the physical, this Virgo energy that guides us to ground into the physical. Continuing with this practice, bringing your full focus to this practice. Grounding into the physical, connecting with the here and now as you feel it, as you sense it, as you directly perceive it, and knowing reality in this way. Knowing that what you need to know will show up. It'll show up maybe directly through a conversation. Somebody brings you the exact words that you need to hear. Maybe it shows up through an intuitive hit. Just being open to the ways that it shows up for you. I'm just looking at the comments. Thank you so much. Well, we've got a Virgo with us. Thank you so much for bringing your Virgo energy here. I am no Virgo. I'm not only a Sagittarius, I'm a 7x Sagittarius. So my whole chart points to Sagittarius. So me, I am a very naturally this fire arrow just flying through the ethers, ungrounded, and this Virgo energy, right? This grounding energy is something I've had to learn. It's something I've had to learn because I lived so much of my life so deeply disembodied, disconnected from reality. So this is now what I teach, right? This is now the core of what I teach, is this grounding, right? And this invitation to keep things simple. Yes, we can overcomplicate things. And this is such a Sagittarius thing of me, is to, that fire arrow shooting off in a million directions all at once because it's exciting, right? It's exciting. Like I want to know this and that and that and that. And that's useful and fun and exciting sometimes. And following that when it serves, right? When it aligns is powerful, right? That's what brings us direction, right? This forward propulsion in life, that fiery energy. But then how often do we let that, right? That desire for more, I need to know more. I need to experience more. I want more, more, more. And how often does that take us out of what's actually important here and now? So in that invitation, take this with you. Take this with you. This simple practice, this grounding in, grounding in. What is here? What is here and now? To be sensed, to be felt, to be witnessed directly. What am I here to take in, to sense, to know here in this moment? Receiving it, holding space for it, letting it guide you into the next moment. I mean, maybe in the next moment, that's the time to, as we were speaking to, is to go learn more, to go watch more YouTube videos on what's happening during this eclipse portal, to go read more blog posts or scroll through Instagram, like, oh, what's going on in this energy? And then being so grounded still that as you're receiving all that information, you can recognize, like, okay, now I've received my fill. Now I can turn off the screen. I can, maybe then it's time to go actually out into nature, to go find the physical earth beneath you, to go walk among the trees, and to tune in directly to the physical then and there. So again, letting this be your playground. I cannot say this enough. Like, when it comes to astrology, from where I stand, as someone who really still feels kind of new to it, it's just letting it be a playground. Like, there's so much here. There's so much, and it's so easy to get lost in the weeds because there's a lot. But letting this be a journey, a playground for you to experience, and letting this Virgo energy guide you through it. Staying so tuned in to what is present here and now. What is present here and now, what is arising in your field in each moment, and letting that be your guiding light. Bringing us full circle back into this full moon energy, letting that full moon just melt all the rest away. Maybe that's moment to moment. Letting that full moon energy radiate down and burn away all that is arising that is really just distraction, that is draining your attention, your energy. Letting the rest fall away. And as we continue to move through this full moon energy and this eclipse energy that's going to be loud for the next couple weeks and ongoing, people speak to how these eclipses come in these 6-month cycles. So sort of what's showing up for you now may be something for you to really work through for the next 6 months. And, there's more cycles that go beyond that. All this work is really just cycles within cycles within cycles. Again, something that can get too heady and we can get lost in. So always coming back to that grounding practice. Checking the comments again here. Yes, that playful, curious freedom. Thank you for that. For me, as someone who's been studying and teaching and coaching in sort of this transformation, right? Whether it was the health coaching field I was in originally, or now in the broader scope that I work in, transformation in our lives, and studying all these different sort of like ways we can get ourselves to change. Ways we can get ourselves to change. I use those words and I kind of cringe a little bit because really it's this playful, curious, playful curiosity, and the freedom to be playful, to be curious. Right? Letting life be a playground and letting your curiosity guide you through it. And when that is your guiding light, being witness to all the ways that, like we heal what needs to be healed. We step into the spaces where we're ready to step into. We let go of what we're ready to let go of. We call in what we're ready to call in. It just kind of happens. Like, yes, there's hard work to do sometimes. Oftentimes, there's that hard work to do, but that playfulness, returning to that playfulness, again, returning to this aspect of Virgo, this playfulness, that youthful, childlike energy that is captured within this Virgo energy, the Virgo archetype. Okay, guys, I think we're there. I think we're there. Kind of tuning into if there's anything else for us to do here today. I'm so happy that some of you were here to join me live. How fun is this? This is a fun way to do things. I think I was speaking to in the beginning, so it might be on the recording. But today is really an experiment. Like usually I'm filming these videos, it's kind of pressing record, putting pre-recorded videos up on YouTube. But I really got a hit with today, like just do it live. I just sit down and just go for it. And so might as well do this live and see if anyone wants to show up and help me weave together. And I'm so happy that that you all could join me today. I know I'm going to be doing this next week. Next week we have the spring equinox, so I'm going to be showing up at least once, if not twice, because the spring equinox is a big one. That's when we're planting new seeds. That's this emerging energy, right? We've been moving through winter. If you're here with me in the Northern Hemisphere, we've been moving through winter, this time of being very deeply inward, right? This is the time when the land, the earth is kind of asleep. So for us, it's this time of being deeply inward, and this spring equinox really being this turning point into this sort of emergence, this emerging energy. And as it lines up just before the new moon eclipse that's going to kind of end this, right? Again, we have the full moon eclipse tonight. We have the new moon eclipse in a couple weeks, and that being this eclipse portal that we're speaking to. So we have the spring equinox next week and then the new moon eclipse. So we're here in this powerful releasing full moon energy right now. And knowing, right, we're in this release, we're in this big release as we're moving into the energy that is seed planting, that is setting intentions, that is new beginning, that is emerging, that is waking up to new beginnings. So that's coming up. That'll come up next week. And the other big thing we have happening is starting in April, I will be holding my live circles on Zoom. So I'm sure I'll still be showing up here on YouTube like this, but holding those Zoom circles so that we can actually show up together in a Zoom room. This is my favorite way to connect. I've been holding kind of an earth priestessing circle for about a year now with this beautiful, amazing group of women. That's been happening kind of behind closed doors. But with these circles, I'm so excited to open them to everybody. All inclusive. These are sort of women's circle style, but they are open to everyone. And I'm really looking forward to that. So make sure on my email list, upwardslopes.com will get you there so that you can be on my email list so you know that how that's happening, when those will happen. And make sure you're subscribed here so you know when I'm coming live again next week. Okay. Thank you guys all for joining me here. If you've gotten something out of today, please leave it in the comments. Love to hear if anything came up for you, if there's any curiosities, if there's something that you're now excited to go pursue, any hits you got during this practice today. Remember this practice, take it with you That very simple grounding practice. Take it with you. Take it with you the rest of today as you move into tomorrow, this whole eclipse portal. Those grounding breaths, keeping you present, physically present with reality. If there's anything I can help bring to the world these days, those deep breaths helping you stay present, connected with reality, grounding into reality. From this space, letting the whole path unfold. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to catching you all next time.